All right, guys. I think I'm live now. I told everybody on 7:30. I'm here. I just want to explain. Everybody's asking me, Tony, what's wrong? What's the matter with the toe? What's the matter with you? All sorts of well-wishing friends. Unfortunately, due to other considerations and me in the hospital a lot, they can't come and see me or haven't seen me. They talk online. That's wonderful. I love it. Here's the gist of it. The last 8 months have been horrible for me. Started in January. My wife said, "Hey, Tony, you're getting a little crazy here." She didn't say it that way. She said, "You're going to the fucking hospital." She was right. I checked into main med. I went to the ER because she said I wasn't behaving myself. And y'all know I'm crazy anyway. But I checked in. She said it was worse than normal. I like to smoke talk. Sorry about this. So she checked me in. They put me in the ER. They said, okay, shrink case. Stuck me in a tiny room with a couple other people. Finally, after their analysis and other issues, and I can explain those later, they shipped me off to Spring Harbor, where I stayed for 3 weeks from January something to the end of January. They let me out. They blue papered me. They threatened to white paper me, which means the judge has to sign it and said you can't get out until we decide you're sane. They said it was a bipolar. I was out for 2 weeks, hanging out with my buddy Dustin, one of the guys from there. Again, I'm on Depakote, I'm on Valium, I'm a zombie. I can't sleep when I'm trying to sleep. When I sit down and talk to somebody, I fall asleep. So they put me back into Spring Harbor for 2 more weeks. After those 2 weeks, I'm out. It's March. I've got admissions at Central Maine, St. Mary's, Bridgeton. I've been through them all. I'm bipolar. No one's going to help me. The drugs aren't taking effect yet. You'll get better, blah, 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 blah. Through Spring Point, they also have Maine Behavioral Health. I think it was April 11th, if I remember correctly, my wife and I remember because of other reasons, my wife and I go down to Spring Harbor, meet with my psychiatrist. She's like, this is not Tony. He's a zombie. He doesn't sleep. I wake her up at 2 a.m. So, it's 5. Let's go have coffee. She's mad. I totally understand. She couldn't sleep. She has to go to work every day. So the psychiatrist said, can't take you off the meds. I don't know you well enough. We're going to go with the doctor said. They'll work. Just give it time. Boom. I leave there that morning. My wife's driving me home. She's very upset with me and with the hospital. And driving, and I said, Carol, she looked at me. My face went ashen, started to drop. And I said, I'm dying. She took me immediately back to main med. They didn't go the psych route. They did, but what they did is they had P6, which is an in-hospital mental ward. It's mostly a geriatric ward. I'm only 55, but they had them come down and eval me. She immediately took me in, said, that's not bipolar, took me off all meds, did some more testing, and actually a geriatric psychiatrist, Dr. Anya Tish, if anybody ever wants to know, she's great. She does a process of elimination. I've had spinal taps, I've had blood work, I've had CAT scans, MRIs, CTEs, the whole thing. She said, diagnosed, she took blood, she sent it off to the Mayo Clinic and said, Tony, I have good news and bad news for you. The good news is you said, hey, I hope I don't pass this on to you. Still not sure if she was diagnosed properly over the years. She was 40 years on many a drug that would snow her. So I'm in the hospital and she goes, yeah, good news and bad news. Tony, it's not bipolar. You have frontotemporal lobe dementia. It's a very rare form of dementia, also called Pick's disease. Arnold Pick found it in 1892. Bad news is, and the good news is it's not contagious. You didn't pass it on your family. There's no genetics. You didn't pass on your daughter. Your mother didn't give it to you. Great. Bad news is the life expectancy, according to those who study this, people live from 2 years from diagnosis to 17 years from diagnosis with the average life expectancy of 6 to 8 years. The last couple of years are spent in a wheelchair pissing, shitting. You don't talk. You just sit there and wait to die. I'm okay, guys. I'm great. I've had a wonderful life. I've made a lot of friends, a lot of acquaintances along the way. Sorry for the tears that may come up, but I'm here every day. So I got out of there at the end of April. I was April 24th. She let me out. Gave me the Lamictal, which is a mood stabilizer. Gave me some Valium and Trazodone for sleeping. Hydroxyzine, which is an anxiety medicine. I don't take the hydroxyzine unless it's really stressful. I don't take my Valium. They said not required. I take Trazodone because I sleep, so I can sleep 8 to 10 hours a day easy. From that date until July 8th, and I remember it well, I was great. I am raking my yard. My yard never looked better. The woods, it took all the leaves out, 2 or 3 inches of old moldy leaves. I mean, this yard was starting to look good. I can walk. I'm walking a couple miles a day at the store. I finally got the courage back to drive. I'm driving everywhere in the state. From down south, I went up and picked up a couple of guinea fowl up in Skowhegan. My wife made me bring them the next day right down to Westbrook, the farm down there. She didn't want them. The guinea hens are stupid. They can be a little violent. They like chickens, only better because they eat a ton of ticks. But they're stupid. And they sit there. They'll go up on top of a tree and roost for the night unless you cage them. So I had 4 of those. She made me give those away. I got rid of them. She said, you can't handle them. Okay. So I got rid of them. In July, the 4th of July was very, very hot. I rent a truck from Home Depot. I'm going around picking up pallets. I can't work. My wife has filed for Social Security. She says you can't go to work until they make a determination, then you can see. So I'm picking up wood everywhere. I rented a Home Depot truck. Day before 4th of July, it was like 90-something with huge humidity. Drove down to my cousin's in Hollis. She and I loaded up 3/4 of cord of oak, the cuttings from the trees, the slabs from the trees. So all the stuff she had around the house, she was getting ready to sell. Her husband wanted to use it for his son's tree fort. Never got done. He got older. The kid's now 12, doesn't go outside, he plays on a video game. That's fine. The room stinks when I go in there, but he's a great kid, Andrew Plummer. I love you very much. So I get home, 20 minutes, I unload the truck. My buddy says, hey, why don't you wait? I said, because I'm going to have it back because they're charging me $20 every hour or whatever it was. Great truck, though. So then we went that weekend, that Saturday, we went to the Southern Uprising Tour up in Bangor, Travis Tritt, Marshall Tucker, Charlie Daniels, and the Outlaws. Great show. I was not feeling good. I was very angry all the time. My wife is pissed at me. My cousins who took me up, and my sister-in-law and her husband or boyfriend took me up. Love you, Ellen. Love you, Dawn. Love you, Carol. I love you all. I'm hot. I'm uncomfortable because those seats are miserable up there. My wife's got a bad neck, so she couldn't look at me. And I was like, why don't you look at me? She's got a couple of bad vertebrae. She had them replaced 10 years ago with cadaver bones, and she thinks she did again. Doesn't have PCP, so she can't get in. And she's the only breadwinner, and they'll put her up for a month, and she says, we can't do it. So she just says, doc, give me medication, let me work. That's the only way it works. So that next Sunday, I get home. I'd been walking a lot. I had old military boots, heavy socks, keeping my feet away. I developed a lesion underneath my big left toe. A little history, back in the 80s when I was in the Navy, my right foot went gangrene. They tried to treat it on the ship for 3 months with betadine to dry it out, change the bandages. I ruined all my white socks. They all became red. Finally, like, Tony, it's not healing. You need to go to the hospital. I spent a week in Balboa Naval Hospital with some good friends. Mike Kimball was there with me every day. Can't find him. Peter Sullivan, awesome guy from Maine. He works for Nappy. He's a distributor up here. He was down for a couple of days. He spent time with me in the hospital, just playing cards, enjoying, having fun. The doctor down there, great Navy doctor. She soaked my foot in acetic acid. Soak's basically a vinegar solution, but they call it acetic acid. Every day I screamed the first day because it was wide open. But after a week of debriding and soaking, my foot was fine. Sent it back to July. Next when we got home from the concert, again she's mad. I throw in water bottles. She's all pissed off. I said, "Honey, I need to go to the clinic just to say, hey, how can I treat this toe?" She said, "Go to the hospital. That's our insurances. We're stuck with the UMR and Central Maine because she works for them, and you can't go anywhere else, so they won't pay." So I went up there to Bridgeton. Went in and said, "Hey, my." They said, "You're septic, meaning you're sick. You got an infection." My lactic acid, which is how they say, where's the infection? It was a 9. They told my wife, they said, "We almost had a life flight." Excuse me. It's just tough to remember these things. But we almost had a life flight him over to Lewiston because his kidneys were shutting down. But they were able to stabilize me through the IVs and the antibiotics. So they took my ambulance over to Lewiston, over Central Maine the next day. Docs come in, great docs. Dr. Brown, I told him I'd make him famous. He's with Central Maine Orthopedics, great guy. He come in, he treated the toe, he cleaned it, he debrided it. It's okay, take it easy, be good. I tried. You know me, I'm very stubborn. So I went home. Another week later, that was a week I think that my buddy Scott came up from Minnesota, one of my best friends. He spent $2,000 to come see me for a day in the busy time of the season because, sorry, he owns a liquor store down there, and it was the busiest time of the year. He flew up on Sunday, spent Sunday night with me. I talked to him Monday. He flew back Tuesday morning out of Boston, like 5 a.m. or 7 a.m., whatever. So I got 24 good hours with Scott. We went up to Seacoast. We took the sky swing, scared to death, both of us. We didn't let go of our arms. Said, "Oh, you let go, and after you pass these arms," and I'm like, fuck no. Neither one of us let go till we were done. We went down to Old Orchard because there's no more things to do up at Seacoast. We did the golf, the go-karts. Mini golf was busy. Everything else was closed down because it was nighttime. We went to Old Orchard. I said, "Scott, let's do it." It was 9 o'clock at night. They closed in 2 hours. I went and bought the passes for he and I, $30 each. He goes, "Tony," I said, "Scott, shut up." He wouldn't take no, but he spent the money coming up. So I said, "Look, you're fucking enjoying it. Sorry for the language." We did all the big rides down there, the coasters, the steel roller coaster got on one end, the Ferris wheel, anything that we could do to scare the hell out of each other. He goes, "My stomach is sick. Let's take a break." He's got a 4-year-old daughter, Bryn, and his wife, Jenny, but couldn't come up that night. She's pregnant, and the doc said, "You can't fly right now." She's due in October, I think, or somewhere around there. So Jenny and Scott, thank you. Brinny, he goes, "Okay, we need to go win something for Brinny because I got to bring something home for my trip." He says, "I got this." I walked over to one of the games. It was one that you really couldn't lose. You pick up the fish. They all have a weight to them. They put them in a bucket. You basically just grab 3 fish that are floating by. It's $5. If you weigh 0 to 45 pounds, you get the small prize. If it's 45 to 60, you get the medium prize. 60 plus, you can get the big prize. I got the medium prize. Again, it was basically you pay, you win. So I got a little fishy for her. She loves it. Scott says, "Thank you." So then we decided we're going to do a couple more rides. Oh, we're going to go on the pirate ship. And we remember it was like this. My son, every time we went to the fairs, when he was younger, he never wanted to leave. So we put him on that. He got sick. It was time to go home. It was a great ending. So it's 10:30 tonight. We go on Scott and my wife's with us. She's taking pictures. He's live screening, live FaceTiming with his wife and daughter in Minnesota. His stomach is a mess. He's sitting in front of me. There's like 10 people on the ride, 3 on one end, 3 on the other, me and him, maybe a couple of us. So I'm rubbing his bald head. He's in front of me, won't sit with me. Say, goes, sits down, throws up in the trash can, goes, "I'm done." So we had a great night. Thank you, Scott. One of the best nights of my life. That Saturday, we took the kids over to Storyland, New Hampshire. Again, we're going on the roller coasters. They get the dino coaster, which is awesome. Figured out that with a handicap, you can go up the exit, you're first in line, they'll let you take any seat you want. You're the first person on there. So Dominic's my 5-year-old grandson, and we sat in the back seat. He goes, "You want to do this?" He's teasing me. I said, "How you doing?" He says, "You want to do this?" So we're going there. We get great pictures. We had a great time. Landed my 3-year-old, drove me around on the on one of the the old tractor drives or on the metal pole. He doesn't know, but he thought he was driving. I'm sitting in the back. They take a picture. My wife, I had 2 pictures, one for us, one for Josh. He's holding on to the picture. He goes, "That's my tattoo. Won't let it go." So anyway, the next day, go back to the hospital. All right. So they look at it again. Tony, this looks like shit. Didn't hold. We're gonna do surgery again. So they go in, they do surgery, they take off the big toe, they take off the metatarsal, which is the bone right there. So now my foot's kind of angled. It's under a bandage, A strap, so I can't even look at it right now. So I spent again another 4 or 5 days in the hospital doing this. Surgery's okay. We closed it. That closing, there wasn't no skin because the infection was so big. They got it down, but when I went back into the doctor's again for another checkup, he goes, "That looks like," she said, "Dr. Bush, you're the one who did the surgery. What'd you do wrong?" Okay, Tony, we go back to the hospital. We talked about the options. They said his dad lost his leg up to his 3 inch below the knee. He was diabetic and it just wouldn't heal. So we talk about the options. He says, "Your surgery is going to be scheduled for tomorrow. They'll call you." Heartburn, sorry. They'll call you for an appointment. So basically, you go into the hospital, you have an appointment. You don't wait in the waiting room. You go right to the surgical unit, the day surgery. They bring you in, they do the surgery, they put you in a bedroom there at the hospital. I didn't have one ready, so my wife waited an hour and a half and got a little concerned. I was in recovery, but didn't know what the hell was going on. She's medical, so she gets very concerned. So we're sitting in there, and they give me back to my room. Okay, Tony, we had to go in and debride him. It was all full of pus, and gross. I don't want to talk about it. My poor Uncle Jimmy took me in Social Security a couple days before so I could get my stuff done. More paperwork. Well, that ended up in a mess. A screaming, hollering match. She was security, big woman sitting there, didn't even want to listen to me. I said, "Where the fuck is security?" Sorry. And I stormed out the door. The guy wasn't there. And my Uncle Jimmy goes, "Oh my God, he's going to get shot." Pretty funny. Again, the sepsis. So, I'm sick. My wife says I'm so much better on antibiotics. So I have to take, this is my antibiotic bag. I take 3 of these a day at 6 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 10 at night. It takes about an hour and a half to infuse into my arm. I've got a PICC line. It's a line that comes in, basically puts a wire here. A catheter here or something like catheter. It's a vein. It's a plastic tube, and it puts it right in my heart channel, right in near the heart, so it goes right through my body. I take that for one of the infections. That's 3 times a day, and then once a day I take another one, which is an injection, or put it in the PICC line in a syringe. You basically every minute you have to put a couple of units in. It's a 25 unit syringe. You have to put it in over 15 minutes. If you put it in too fast, it can screw up your kidneys. If you put this shit in too cold, it can give you, chills or whatever, make you sick. My son does the 2 o'clock dosings. We do the 1 o'clock for the syringe one. 2 o'clock, he hooks me up to that. He is awesome. He's home. He's waiting to go back to work. He's been out of BIW because he got hurt. So, I can go around. I go anywhere. As long as people don't mind seeing the bag, I don't give a shit. I put it in my pocket, try to tie my shorts because if not, the shorts fall down. We're pretty embarrassing. So, anyway, I got the first surgery. They clean it out. Then Dr. Brown goes back in Friday. He says, "Tony, I can't close it." He says, "Still, there's no skin." They're talking, okay, if we have to cut more, we'll cut the foot off, get rid of all the toes, they'll have a square foot. He says, "Just be prepared. It might happen." I said, "I'm fine with it." So Sunday, Dr. Timoney, who's my treating orthopedics doctor, He's the one that treats me. He come in on Sunday. He says, okay, it's healed enough. We close it. You're fine. Puts a bandage on. He says, see me in the office on Friday. He says, stay off your foot or it's not going to heal. We can cut more of the toe or the foot. Well, again, I don't follow the rules best. So there's a little bit of blood coming out because I use the foot too much. My wife called me yesterday. He says, tell him to lay down that goddamn, I'm on a chase lounge in my front yard all day. Front porch. I got to keep my foot elevated above my heart, the whole thing. He said, I'm pissed if that thing is bad. So I go in to see him tomorrow. He's going to be pissed. I use my foot way too much. Making promises. I got a walker here. He said, I can use touchdown weight, which means basically just put the weight on the heel of your toe, just if you need to go to the bathroom or whatever. The rest of the time, you're laying on a chase. I can't do that, but I am. And so I go see him tomorrow, but I got the walker here. I got a wheelchair for long distances. My wife's going to take me to Santa's Village with the grandkids this weekend. I've already reserved 7 today. She's got to leave Monday, but we went out to dinner last night, and one of her fucking beer accounts, she works for Four Noses Brewery in Denver, giving her such a hard time. She is just pissed. She won't talk to us for Hannah Grill at the hibachi. She had to go away. She had to go call her boss. She was totally broken down. It's a nice young lady, 28 years old, but the guy there is such a, oh, I need this on Christmas Day. She goes, I need more cocktail napkins. The hell, it's Christmas Day, dude. Plan it. Your lack of planning doesn't constitute an emergency on my part. But it's, again, women have to work that much harder to gain respect in this world, which is very wrong. So there you have it, folks. My diagnosis, I've got the dementia. It's going to kill me in a couple of years, no problem. Oh, after the first surgery, I got out of the hospital. I was Wednesday. I'm playing with the kids down in the playroom, the solarium they call it. Thursday, I get my discharge papers. I'm done. Waiting on my wife to pick me up. It's going to be 3 or 4 in the afternoon. I just didn't like the bureaucracy. They didn't give me the prescription for the walking shoe, which is the only way you can get a walking shoe. So I'm sitting there having a prescription. The wound nurse or the wound lady spent like 30 seconds with me tops saying, oh, yeah, you need this, and walked out. Just fucking, I'm going home. So I called my wife, said, hey, meet me over to Dunkin' Donuts. I'm not staying there a minute longer. So unfortunately, that morning, I woke up. I was up at 2 in the solarium with some music, having a great time. Went back to sleep, woke up around 8 o'clock, and my right side didn't work anymore. It was all numb. I had a stroke, my second one in 8 months. So right now, my right hand, I get great muscle strength, but I don't feel the fingers. They go numb. The right foot doesn't always behave like it's supposed to. So between the right foot being stroked, left foot being surgically, walking along, my hip is kind of messed up. So the first 2 minutes of the day, very painful trying to get up. No problem. I hope this video explains it to all my friends. I hope anybody views it and says, hey, Tony, here's a story. You're good. Thanks for the update. I love them all. When I get healed up, I've got a new partner in crime. Her name is Dusty Ladale. If you want to ever see her music videos, she's played with the best over Clarence Clemens back in the 80s before he died. She played with Firefall, Jimmy Van Zandt. His tour bus broke down in front of where she was playing in Florida. They came in and heard her play, said, hey, can we jam with you? They asked her. She's played with some greats. She does a lot of covers for ZZ Top. Like I said, 1,000 shows last year down in Old Orchard because she's a private entertainer. 1,000 shows last year in Old Orchard, makes great money while it ruined her shoulder. So she had to have surgery this year. She's in pain, but she's going to see us today. I haven't been down in a couple of weeks. I said, hey, I'll bring some extra drugs if you need some pain relievers. She and I are going on. We decided that, Tony, how can I make more money? This is what I make a year, doing music. I said, Dusty, you promote. She is a DJ at WMPG, the college station here in Maine at USM. She works as an electrician. She hasn't worked for 2 months, so she's going to the bank to get a loan. I said, I'll lend you the money. You're a great investment. She said, I can't take your money. It's your money. You go play. So I finally convinced her. I got a guy from Bangor who's going to bring down a couple cars I'm going to buy. One's a 88 F-150, 4-wheel drive, jacked up a little bit. This thing runs like a charm. His buddy drives it every day. He said, I drive to Cape Cod once, twice a month. He said, I drive it to Florida today. There's no rust. No, I mean, some rust on the truck, and I don't care about rust. It's harmless. High mileage, but he says, Tony, I drive this to Florida. There's no dashboard lights on or anything. The thing runs like a charm. So I'm going to buy that for $1,200. Thank you, John. And he goes, hey, we're talking. He goes, I drive an Uber. He's got a 2008 Lincoln Town Car Executive Series that was used as a limousine for a company. He bought it. It's almost 300,000 miles. He says, I sold the last one 500,000 miles, and the guy loves it. He said, black on black. He says, beautiful. He says, I make $200 a day, driving in Bangalore area. He lives in Orrington. He's driving in Bangalore area. I make $200 a day, in Uber. I said, which one do I want? I call him up and say, you know what? Bring them both. So my son Josh, who needs a vehicle, don't ever drive his Explorer with his registration. Yeah, the cops will in that one. 4 cops, dogs, screaming at me for a half an hour. I didn't break any rules. They basically are harassing me. Fourth Amendment rights, illegal search and seizure. They kept me for a half an hour at the Cumberland Farmers in Westbrook, threatening to arrest me, do the OUI check, not a charge, not a ticket, no nothing. They had people lined up there. Who wants to file a complaint against them for swearing? Yeah. Chief Roberts heard that the next morning. I said, that's it. No more harassment. All because, my name, I'd been talking to the chief. I have a complaint with her. She doesn't want to resolve it. So I promised her, Chief, your decision. I brought her the paperwork, showed her what happened. She goes, well, I believe my officer. That's great. That's your job. Chief, that's your job. I will defend my people daily. Anybody who's ever worked with me knows that. But if you prove them wrong, if you prove yourself right, you got to believe the person. Don't fall back on them, and I will chew all of their asses. And they all know that one, too. So I brought her the paperwork. I said, here's your choice from Spring Harbor, the whole records thing. Your choice, you give me a fucking apology. And this, I said just like this. Either get a fucking public apology, or I'll meet you in federal court. She didn't respond. FBI has that case right now, and hopefully they find it. And police brutality, police illegal search and seizure, violation of civil rights, whatever you want to call it, folks. Stand up for your goddamn rights because you have them. I'm dying, so I don't care about repercussions. My mind is free. I mean, I'll go. A girl that works at Walmart here, she's a cutter, cuts a hand. Another guy, Paul, he and I became good friends. He was suicidal because he's drunk. Great guy. He had a lot of delusions. He always thought his brother was trying to kill him. Actually, his brother did try to kill him way back when. So he wants to kill himself. He's drunk. He's in there for suicide. They put the 3 of us, my wife, my sister-in-law, and 4 other people, visitors there for the girl, put us in a small room, all together. Security guard outside the door. You can't leave. You can't do this. You can't do that. HIPAA violation, folks. HIPAA. Their rules, not mine. They wrote it. I'm just going to use it. And anybody knows me knows I know the rules. My mind is, I got dementia, but God damn it, I know what I'm talking about. So I filed them with the Office of Civil Rights. They've got that case. We'll see how that's going. I've got a couple other things against Maine Med and against Spring Harbor for gross negligence and in misdiagnosing. I don't mind, everybody makes mistakes. Own up to it. Say you're sorry. Nope. They all cover up their mistakes. Don't put it in the reports. Unfortunately, I'm an asshole. Got all the reports from everywhere. I'm filing shit because they cover it up. They say, oh, that never happened. Well, you know what? Doc, down in Spring Harbor, you refused to call my PCP. You said, that's your problem. My wife asked you, that's your problem. You handle it. That was his attitude. Wouldn't talk to any of my other doctors, say, hey, he's had, back in 2016, I was at Cintas, I worked there. I had to go in for MRIs. I think it was probably the onset of the dementia. No biggie. But, you can look up those records. He refused to do anything other than what he wanted. And everybody else in that whole system kowtowed to him. When I was in the second floor, the second admission, they said, "Oh, he's a brand new doctor. He's not brand new wing, brand new doctor. They run things not well down there." I've got 2 letters of civil rights violations in the hospital, signed by the hospital president, signed by their ombudsman. They gave me 2 letters because I kept complaining. And then I said, you know what? I'm done fucking with these guys. They violate everybody's rights every day. The human rights are thrown out the window. You got them posted everywhere. Here's your rights. But yet they don't follow them. And yeah, they admit I'm laughing my ass off. And I messed with them as much as I could. I said, I'm done messing with them. So that's where I am, folks. I'm sorry for rambling. I'm going to ramble throughout these rants. That's just the way it is. This Facebook page has been set up so that we can make some money from Facebook. Not for me. I got my own Social Security. I get $2,000 a month between Social Security disability and my VA benefits because of the gangrene foot and bad back 30 years ago. Blah, 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 blah. I'm fine. I make $24,000 a year. My wife has a good salary. Right now, Dusty, who's going back to work. Oh, by the way, I'm giving her the limos to start her Uber service. So Dusty, and I said, that's an investment. She says, you sure? I said, Dusty, you're a great investment. If you don't pay, I know where you live. She's a 4th-generation Canadian samurai from Japan. Her mom was straight Japanese, scared the shit out of me when I was a kid when I asked her out on a date. Now she went gay. She doesn't like guys anymore. She doesn't even remember a date. But her and her older brother and I were good friends. Smoked a little bit too much on Bradbury Mountain and ran down it back to the car. We're on break at school. I didn't have it. I just skipped my lunch break or whatever. And he was a junior, so he had privileges. We didn't. Me and another freshman of mine. We ran down Bradbury Mountain. It's only 600 feet high. It was the funnest day. So this is set up to make money for donations. I want to create a lasting foundation for my family, my grandkids, for their kids, their grandkids, that they can say, hey, look what your grandfather did. My buddy, I've got a couple links on my About tab that you see over there. I talk with my hands, too much Italian. Very tough when your hand doesn't work because, you talk with your hands. So on my About page are a couple links. One's to Dusty, her webpage, because, showing who she played with, her gigs, her bio, or all of the stuff. Check it out. She's a great kid. I have 2 links on there. One is to Brad McClure. He's a friend of mine from high school. Facebook me out of the blue, waiting on surgery. He's a man of God. He's been a preacher. I think he was a minister, my brother said. He lives in Peru. 2 years ago, he started a foundation to help women escape sexual slavery. They take in the first girl in October. He's built the house all himself. Donations only. There is no administrative costs. He's out there building, furniture out of pallets. That's what he's doing, folks. I'm trying to raise donations for them. If there's another link called Gracie's Gowns for all my Navy shipmates, Dale White, who was a PN, now he's a minister out in Katy, Texas. I think it's Katy. That's his daughter's company in Virginia. She lives down in Manassas area. She has a foundation called Gracie's Gowns where they make hospital gowns, handmade, hand-painted, hand-delivered to young kids in the hospital who are waiting surgeries. Because, those gowns are not pleasant, and they feel the kids are really hurting. They're scared. This gives them some sense of, completion. Somebody loves me. Their links both there. My plan is right now, once I get YouTube, I've just started. I just got to monetize. It's going to take a while. I need subscribers. Doesn't cost you a dime to subscribe. I need views. Doesn't cost you a dime. It takes minutes. There's a ton of minutes in a day. There's 24 hours a day, 60 minutes an hour. So it's a minuscule amount of your time. It won't cost you a thing. I put up donation links. People don't donate. They don't like it. Nobody wants to donate. Okay, fine, whatever. Look at the views. Look at my page. YouTube will pay if you get enough viewers and subscribers. They pay. There are people who make millions of dollars. FGTV Daddy, who's my grandkid's favorite, he makes $15 million a year off of YouTube. They pay because you get subscribers and ads, the whole thing. Right now, 50% of all donations from YouTube, 50% of all the money from YouTube is going to go to those causes. My hope, I just need a couple people with me, Dusty, my wife, Got to offset the salaries. I mean, my daughter is a foundation director because she's a beer rep out there in Denver, has great marketing. That's what I went to school for. Bring a couple people on board, maybe 200-300 grand a year, and the rest is going to donations. The rest is going to help causes because, folks, United Way and all the big ones, they rip you off. They take a huge chunk of administrative costs. Not much money goes to the actual work. I'm going to Peru once the foot heals up. Going down to see Bob. Bob, what can we do? I got a few friends going to go. Dusty's going. My wife's going. We need to learn to speak Spanish. He lives in Chiclayo, Peru, which is hours from Lima. It's on the coast. You can fly in right there. It's an hour and a half from the airport. He says, Tony, I got a pizzeria here. I'll feed you every day. These organizations want you to come in. Oh, you got to pay $50 a day for food and lodging. Pay your own trip. Pay $50 a day. That's not volunteering, folks. You know, my buddy Bob goes, he quoted the Bible. He says, you don't, and I don't know the exact quote. He says, but you don't charge. If people are willing to volunteer their time for you to help you, you're willing to, volunteer housing or food or friendship. There's no charge to do that. Sure, you have a few living expenses, but Bob is willing to put anybody up. Bob is willing to help. He says, Tony, I own the pizzeria, which goes towards the foundation. He does it all himself. He's got a few people who work. Yeah. He's going to, on his newsletter, goes, yeah, we're going to raise a couple pigs. Hopefully that'll offset some of the salaries that we have to pay. If you don't want to donate money, you don't want to watch me on YouTube, great. Please go to at least my discussion page. I got one of his IMs on there, one of his messages on there, and I am Facebook messages on there, listening to things that they could use to help start. Toiletries for the girls, underwear, all the shit. He's got a lot listed there. Contact me. I'm going to contact my friend at UPS, see if I can get a shipping account at a discount because they're very expensive. To Peru, it's expensive. Get a shipping account at discount. Hopefully I can get it, help them, get them involved. It can all go over there, either free or cheap. I'm going to pay the cost. I got a few bucks. I don't have much. I got a few bucks. I want to do this. I've done it my whole life. I've worked the orphanages in the Philippines. They didn't charge me. I worked orphanages in Mexico. The Navy was great. Brought us down to Project Hand Clasp. They didn't charge us. I've worked for the Salvation Army on and off over the years. I rang the bell for like 7 years in Brunswick. Tom Barlow, great guy at MBNA. Every year for years, again, I was in Brunswick like 9 years. Every year we went over and we did for the respite care, respite caregivers, people who take care of others. We did a huge Thanksgiving dinner for them every year at a local church. All sorts of folks from MBNA were volunteering their time. When I worked for them, MBNA also had the thing, hey, if you put in 40 hours to a 401c3, a nonprofit organization, we will send them a check for $250. What an excellent company. Unfortunately, they sold to Bank of America. Charlie Colley was the owner of the company. He's now passed away. Al Lorno was his partner. He passed away. Everybody goes, what a bunch of jerks, pompous asses. They did a lot for people. So that's the end of this today, folks. Thank you again for listening. I hope somebody helps me raise money or at least donates goods. I'll make sure they get there. My cause. Don't worry about it. Just help me get there. Thanks. Bye. Gotta put in the glass so I can see the end button.